Hi guys, welcome back to our beautiful Top 10 series where we give you amazing top 10 lists. Today we have a personal favorite of mine, it's Top 10 Disney Movie Mistakes. Now, I love Disney, as I'm sure many of you guys do, so it was really fun to do research for this list. And while doing the research, I actually realized there's quite a lot of mistakes that I never realized before. But my love for Disney, it still remains strong, mistakes or not. Alright guys, so let's get right into this. Some of these mistakes, I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty obvious. So you're gonna be shocked that you never realized them before. Starting off with number 10, we have Aladdin. This movie came out in 1992. This is a story about a street urchin who, along with his trusty sidekick Abu, tries to win Princess Jasmine's heart. There are many hilarious characters that help to round out this movie. One of them being Raja, Jasmine's pet tiger. In one scene, we see a suitor who has come for Jasmine's hand in marriage. Like any good pet, Raja is very protective over Jasmine, so he bites the seat of the suitor's trousers, and we see his polka dot hearted boxers. When we later see Raja in the courtyard, he has a part of the same boxers in his mouth. But in the previous scene, the boxers were fully intact. So instead, Raja should have had a purple piece of cloth in his mouth because he bit a piece of the man's trousers, not his boxers. This is such a simple mistake, but when watching the movie, let's be honest, you kinda don't notice it. And at number 9, we have Pocahontas. This movie came out in 1995 and is about an English captain named John Smith who travels to native lands in search of riches and falls in love with a woman who lives there named Pocahontas. In one scene, Pocahontas and her best friend Nakoma are walking and holding hands, yet their shadows that are ahead of them are not. All the rest of the shadowing in this movie was on point. This was the only time that wasn't depicted correctly, but shadows are a complicated thing in movies since they can bend, overlap, or elongate in strange ways. So we aren't gonna hold this against them. Next at number 8, we have A Bug's Life. So basically this movie is about a mischievous ant named Flick who is looking for warriors to help save his colony from greedy grasshoppers. And he recruits a group of bugs who turn out to be a circus troupe. So for this movie mistake, we have a scene where Flick brings the bugs back to his home and they are trying to build a giant mechanical bird to scare off the grasshoppers. Then there's a clever little part where a blueprint is made by cutting out a bird shape in a leaf and they fly up to the sky to get their desired size. So the ants below can place sticks down to copy the large size of the bird. However, this is not how shadows work since the sun is 93 million miles from the Earth. So there is no way that it would have been able to create this large shape on the ground. In our number 7 spot, we have WreckIt Ralph. This movie came out in 2012 and it actually has quite a few mistakes and inaccuracies. This movie is about a video game villain named WreckIt Ralph who wants to be a hero and sets out on a quest to do so. While doing this, he meets a little game glitch named Vanellope, and he helps her to complete her dream as well, which is to rule Sugar Rush. So here's the mistake. At the end of the movie, Ralph succeeds in getting Vanellope across the finish line in her car, which resets the game back to its original form, and turning Vanellope into a princess, thereby dethroning King Candy. But unfortunately, the artist must have been too busy working on Vanellope's beautiful princess dress because they missed one key element. King Candy's logo is still displayed in the same way when he was ruling. You guys, you gotta be careful with those tiny details. And at number 6, we have Frozen. You guys, of course we have to put Frozen on our list. It's one of the most popular Disney movies ever made. This movie came out in 2013, and it's a heartwarming tale about two sisters. Anna is a fearless optimist who sets out on a journey to find her sister Elsa, who has ultimately run away. She meets friends along the way, and at the end she realizes that her true love is her sister. It's actually such a beautiful story about sisterly love. And while this movie is pretty much flawless, we did manage to catch a mistake or two. One of them being that during one of the final scenes when Hans is telling Elsa that her ice powers killed her sister, you can clearly see that he doesn't have a sword anywhere on his body. But moments later you can hear a weapon being drawn. It kinda sounds like a sword being drawn from a shield. But then it pans back to him and somehow he has this massive sword with him. But he doesn't have the shield, so there's no way this sound could have been made. Up for number 5, we have The Little Mermaid. This movie came out in 1989 and is about an adventurous mermaid named Ariel who is curious about the human world and ends up falling in love with a prince who happens to be a human. In a desperate desire to explore the human world, she needs to become a human herself. So she goes to the banished sea witch Ursula, who casts a temporary spell on Ariel in exchange for her voice. Now once Ariel's on land, she meets up with Prince Eric and they go on a romantic boat ride set to the song Kiss the Girl. So here's where we catch a mistake. During the whole boat ride, Ariel's hair is down. However, during one part of the song, we see Ariel's and Eric's reflection in the water, and Ariel's hair is tied up in a ponytail. Then it pans back to them in the boat and her hair is magically down again. In our number 4 spot, we have Toy Story. This movie came out in 1995 and has many great moments. It's about a boy named Andy and his love for his toys. And not only that, but his toys, well, they're also alive. And these toys all stick together and they would go on missions to check out the new toy once it arrived. In the opening scene, we have Sarge, who is a little plastic green army man. Him and his troops are hiding in a plant during Andy's birthday party, trying to scout out what new toys he's getting. The soldiers are reporting over the baby monitors back to Andy's room where all the other toys are sitting in wait. Now here's where the mix-up comes in. The baby monitor that the soldiers are using is the handheld half, which acts only as a speaker. The half of the monitor, which includes the actual microphone, is with the toys up in the bedroom, meaning the toys actually shouldn't have been able to hear anything the soldiers were saying. For our number 3 spot, we have Monsters, Inc. This movie came out in 2001, and it is about a city of monsters, and this town is called Monstropolis. This city relies on the power of children's scream for energy. So we have our 2 main monsters, Mike and Sully, who are known as scarers. So Sully, along with other scarers, go into children's bedrooms late at night and scare them and collect their scream power. One night, a little girl named Boo sneaks back in with Sully. And this is pretty bad because in Monstropolis, if a child touches you, it's considered deadly. Mike and Sully grow attached to Boo and they try to return her to the human world before anyone finds out. So once they have Boo, they realize that this little girl's laugh is more powerful than screams, and even causes a power outage when she goes into her first fit of giggles. Throughout the movie, Boo spends a lot of her time giggling, yet throughout the rest of the movie, the power doesn't even flicker. Filmmakers have admitted that this is an inconsistency, but said that it would cause too many challenges to follow out with this theme through the entire movie. In our number 2 spot, we have Cinderella. This movie is a bit of an older one. It came out in 1950, but it's a classic film about a young woman who is forced to live with her evil stepmother and 2 despicable stepsisters. She has her animal friends helping her along the way, and a fairy godmother who dressed her for a ball where she would meet her Prince Charming. But even this fairy tale made some mistakes. At the end, Cinderella and her prince get married and they rush down the stairs to their awaiting carriage. In this scene, Cinderella is wearing a beautiful long sleeve wedding gown, and it was a pretty hard gown to forget since it was modeled after the dress from the royal wedding. But once they are in the carriage, Cinderella's dress has noticeably changed to a sleeveless dress. Alright guys, so let's recap about some of the mistakes we now know of. We have misleading shadows, incorrect clothing, incorrect logos, wrong use of a baby monitor, and much more. But the all-time Disney mistake, it's gonna be one that you cannot believe you missed. Coming in at our number 1 spot, we have Beauty and the Beast. This movie came out in 1991 and it is my all-time favorite Disney movie ever. I just love it so much. But they also made one of the biggest mistakes. In this movie, a prince named Adam gets a curse put on him and he turns into a beast. He gets the curse put on him at the age of 10 or 11, and in order to break the curse, he must find true love before his 21st birthday or he'll remain a beast forever. Then you flash forward and we have the prince approaching his 21st birthday. In a fit of rage, Beast slashed the portrait of himself where he's painted as a 20-year-old human man. Which is impossible seeing as the last time he was in human form he was around 10 years old, so this portrait could not exist. It's okay, Beauty and the Beast, I still love you. Well, there you guys have it, our list of top 10 Disney movie mistakes. Let me know down in the comments which one surprised you the most, or if there's any out there that I missed. Thank you guys so much for watching, we really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe for more interesting top 10 lists. We have more videos right over here for you guys, and you guys can follow me on Instagram at Court McGinley. Bye guys!